How do you deal with the access of Instagram and TikTok and everyone's phones, and no one has time to like interact with people anymore?
We've stopped living our own lives and we're more concerned about what the other person is doing. Like from one country, the American men are the people who are giving the most revenue to the OnlyFans. In this world, you are out there giving it to people whatever you can, right? Like it could be an advice, it could be maybe money, it could be a network, it could be food, it could be house.
A bunch of women exist on this planet whose minds are colored because of social media. Find someone who isn't.
This coloring is done, but they're far away from reality. So what it does, it brings a lot of disappointment. Like I don't want any other woman. I'm just happy with who the I am. Like you make like bloody $200 a month, yeah, and you need guys making $1 million. Like what the is that, right?
People do a lot of travel these days for tourism reasons and just because they want to get photographed at places for status to showcase that. Welcome to the Karan Capital podcast. Today we have a special guest again, Harry, also known as Harsimar Singh. Harry,
Thanks, man. Thanks
Welcome.
for having me again.
welcome to the podcast. Today we're going to talk about the institution of marriage and how social media is really affecting it. The dating marketplace today has changed. How do you deal with the access of Instagram and TikTok and everyone's phones, and no one has time to like interact with people anymore, and how it affects our dating process, relationships, friendships, and how do you deal with it? So to begin with, I want to talk about social media has created this sense of expectations. Do you agree with that?
Of course, it has. Like we see we've stopped living our own lives and we're more concerned about what the other person is doing. Like when someone goes to, let's say, a new touristy place or a new bar, or let's say like they're flying to somewhere else. They're more concerned about the fact that we have to click a picture, we have to record a small video and post it online to show people what we are doing, right? And they're more concerned about like what other people are doing, right?
So I want to go into the idea that
Yeah.
when men consume Instagram Reels, TikTok, posts, OnlyFans, they're consuming all this content from beautiful women and it's screwing with their perception of women. And vice versa, women are consuming content about lifestyles, Lambos, mansions, and all these crazy wealthy dudes flexing,
Yeah.
and their mind is getting colored and their expectations are being raised and they are not okay with normal.
Hmm.
Do you think this is a problem? I mean, I think it is.
Yeah.
And how does one deal with this when it comes to dating and relating to the other sex and making friendships and relationships?
Well, it's of course, like you said, like women are consuming different things in like social media.
Yeah.
Like men are consuming different things, right? So
Mhm.
let's talk about men first, right?
Yeah.
What are men consuming? Men are consuming, like let's say for a country called India, right? They're consuming like women who are like sixes and sevens, like and they're like wearing like really short clothes and they're just moving their asses or their like booty or boobs, right? And they're like just shaking it up and dancing on a song. And that is what Indian men are watching, right? That is their dopamine hit,
Correct.
right? And that is what, like, at the night they're like scrolling, watching like 100 different women,
Yeah.
right? And watching them and like thinking about them or whatever, right? Or like, let's say for like American men, they're consuming like, I think American men are like the most like from one country, the American men are the people who are giving the most revenue to the OnlyFans, right?
Correct.
Like I read that in an article. So I feel it's the same. American men are consuming OnlyFans. Indian men, because they don't have money, right? They are consuming Instagram fans. Like that is what they're doing. Like women who like sixes,
Yep.
they're applying like makeup and like putting it, and like they have 1 million followers, right? Because of Indian men. You watch these Russian influencers, they'll tell you that 90% of their audience is Indian.
Correct.
Because we have forgotten how to go and meet women in real life. We don't want to work on our skills and we just want to scroll and maybe masturbate at 11 o'clock in the night and sleep.
Yep.
That's what Indian men are doing, right? That is what they're consuming, right? So what I'm saying is, when you do this, you don't give a about your own development, and you
Yeah.
just watch this over and over 10 years of your life. Then you marry someone, you don't really like,
Correct.
because that's the only option you got.
Yeah.
And that is what your married partner is, right? This is the problem that's been happening with Indian men. So my advice to Indian men is, stop scrolling through these women, stop following their accounts, stop liking their post.
Yeah.
Don't give them a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Make sure that they don't get views. That's how you will win in your life. And like make sure that you don't consume Instagram or Facebook or, like, let's say, YouTube. Don't consume that for more than, let's say, consolidated 1 hour a day. You have to
Right.
like discipline yourself.
Right.
मैं नहीं देखूंगा.
Correct.
I will not like watch YouTube or Instagram more than 1 hour a day, or let's say 30 minutes a day.
Yep.
You can like watch that time screen on your Androids or an iOS, right? Now let's come to women, right? What are women consuming?
Women, what are they consuming?
Women are consuming like crazy dresses, women getting married in France, women going on trips to Paris, women coming out of Lamborghinis, right? That's why you saw that interview where, like, there's some Indian influencer, is asking women, how much do you want your husband to earn?
Yeah.
And they're saying, I at least 1 CR annually, right?
Insane.
Yeah. तुम 10,000 रुपए कमाती हो हैं, तुम्हें पति चाहिए 1 करोड़ वाला है, like you make like bloody $200 a month, yeah, and you need guys making $1 million. Like, what the is that, right?
Correct.
So see, I'm not saying it's wrong to to want a man who's making money, right? But let's be realistic, right? Like, you and me know like how much hard work we have to put in, like, to make money, right?
Correct.
Like, go and ask any man how much studies he has done, how much nights he has slogged through to make the money he's making right now.
Correct.
Right? So women need to realize the fact that like, come to reality. Like, that money is not just like, the guy has not plucked it off trees.
Correct.
He's worked really hard, right? And he is ready to share it with you.
Right. Now, what I wanted to specifically draw issue to
Yeah.
is the mind getting colored, expectations being set. In her mind, this is how a guy has to be. Otherwise, I will not settle for anything. This is
Yeah.
what I want.
Yeah.
Guy, maybe similar. Like watches all these reels with beautiful women, and now, hey, my partner has to be like this.
Yeah.
How do these people then deal with reality and normal people still be able to date, still be able to have friendships without this coloring of the mind screwing with it? How do they deal with it?
Well, like, you see, like, the coloring is done, right? Women need like certain trips, foreign trips, like every month. They want Lamborghinis. They want to live in, let's say, in Delhi, like, let's say, golf links, like 200 crores
Yeah.
villa, right? But the fact is that this coloring is done, but they're far away from reality. So what it
Yeah.
does, it brings a lot of disappointment, right?
Correct.
Like a man, like, let's say her husband is making 5 lakhs a month, right? Like 5 lakh rupees, like, let's say, or like, let's say, he's making like $6,000, right? $6,000 a month is fine in Delhi, right?
It's great.
Yeah, you can, but like, still, like, now let's say you want like a Mercedes of, let's say, $100,000, right? Now that guy making 5 lakh rupees, or the guy making $6,000 can't go and buy $100,000 Mercedes, right?
Can't.
That's not happening, right?
Nope.
So like, a guy who's worked his ass off and is still making like decent amount of money, her wife would still be disappointed.
Correct.
She would still want to go buy that Louis Vuitton bag, but that guy can't afford too many bags a month.
Correct.
Right.
So how's a guy? I want to draw a solution for this. Is
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, what does a guy do to deal with this new reality that their minds are being colored?
Well,
What do you do?
Yeah, he needs to filter out not marrying those women. He needs to make sure that the girl he is with is not after her money, is not materialistic. It believes in the fact that she wants to make her own money. Right? And see, I'm not saying it's wrong to share with your partner. You share with your partner, but your partner should be on the ground, right? Should be in reality, right? They should be like they should also, calibrate to the fact that when a guy is getting married, he should make sure that his value system of spending money aligns with his partner. Like men, they just see that, oh, she's young, oh, she looks beautiful, or she comes from a decent family, but they don't give a about her spending value system. That is also very important, because you gotta spend your life with that person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, that person, if their spending habits is not aligned with yours, they can make you go bankrupt,
Right.
regardless of whatever money you earn. So it's very important that that their spending culture aligns with yours.
Okay. So you're saying if a bunch of women exist on this planet whose minds are colored because of social media, find someone who isn't, or
Yeah,
who has a value system that's strong enough to resist it.
of course.
I would say that's rare. It's
Yeah.
hard.
But that's the way, that is how men are. We need to go like hunt, right? Similarly, you need to find those women. There are women in this world, right? I know few. There are women in this world
Who
who
don't
value.
have who don't have TikTok brain.
Maybe they don't have TikTok brain. They don't spend that amount of time, scrolling through reels. They're way too busy growing in their own lives, going to the gym, like, going to their work, getting more skills. But, that's your job. Find those women.
It's our duty as a guy.
Yeah, it's your duty to find them. It's not the women's fault that they've become like this. That's what the social media is doing to them.
So society is kind of collapsing because of it, because women are getting programmed by this. We still have to deal with it and find someone who isn't as much.
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
Got it. That makes sense. And do you think that this is also leading to relationships that were otherwise healthy being ruined? Guys great, girls great, they're
Yeah.
both great.
Yeah.
They're both amazing with each other. They're
Mhm.
both working on their relationship. They're both sacrificing. You can't be alone. You can't be doing your own thing. You have to make some compromises. But because I watched a bunch of TikTok with other guys flexing, or this guy watched a bunch of reels with some beautiful woman, he's unhappy with his partner and she's unhappy with him for external reasons because of some video on a phone.
Yeah.
Does this happen? I think it does. And how do you deal with this?
Well, of course, you need to have a chat with your partner, right? Let's be realistic about things. You need to be sure that both of you are on the same page, regarding spending, or regarding going to like traveling, or So that is the reason, like that's what I say. Before you finalize on the partner you wanna spend your life with, right? You make sure you spend a lot of time together, and you make sure that your value systems are aligned with each other.
Got it.
Yeah.
Are these value systems, once you're in the relationship, are they strong enough to resist this TikTok and social media like programming? I mean, I think it's tough,
Yeah.
very tough, and I think that that's leading to ruined relationships,
Hmm.
worsening of marriages, even, and the constant comparison
Hmm.
is just screwing with people's minds. People are less and less happy,
Yeah.
because of social media. So it's like this addictive thing. And I don't know, outside, I know you mentioned the value system alignment, but is there anything else you can do once you're already in the relationship
Hmm.
to kind of keep things?
Well, have a conversation with your partner. Like, it's your duty for both of you to grow together. Because, like, if one of the person grows way too faster, then he is getting distant, in terms of love and values with the other one, right? So it's your duty that you make sure that both of you grow together. Once both of you grow together, in terms of values, in terms of work, in terms of making money, in terms of health, that love would, you could maintain that love, and you could make sure that you both are still on the same page, right? So you need to keep on having conversations, right? It need to happen. Maybe some days I would slack on some shit. I'll be eating a lot of junk, and I would want my girl to tell me, honey, you're done for today. Like, I'm not gonna make you eat any more burgers for the next 1 month. I'm like, thanks, babe. Thanks for telling me that. Because, like, I sometimes like to eat. At the same time, I could be like, babe, you're done with your alcohol. No more alcohol, right? So, like, you need to, like best friends. You need to be after each other. You need to make sure that you guys stay on the path, right? So grow together.
Got it. So I now want to talk about the institution of marriage.
Yeah.
And in today's society, with the crazy amount of options that people have, in their workplace, DMs, people constantly hitting women up, it's hard to just commit to one person and be with one person. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's always the case, but because of social media, because of this digital age we live in, that the fact that you can just DM anyone can DM anyone,
Hmm.
marriage itself is like a hard thing to commit to.
Yeah.
If you have a million options, why would you want to get married? As a guy, it doesn't even make sense
Yeah.
because some places, you don't get to end it easily, or you don't get to walk. Things don't go right. Things don't go right a lot because of a lot of problems because of social media, because of like changing of cultures, changing of society. How does one still make marriage relevant
Mm-hmm.
and still find a good partner to do it with?
Yeah. That's okay. Let's talk about that. Yeah. So the thing is, like I said, spend time with your partner before getting married, right? Like there are certain red flags that you got to see both for men and women, right? So let's say, like let's talk about, like, regarding from the perspective of a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you are dating your girl, you got to see, like, is she responding to the cold DMs that are coming in her chat box, right? How is she, women, especially in India, like any girl, they get attention, right? Like
Yeah.
I remember I used to tell this to my ex-girlfriend. She's like, he was after me, he was texting me, blah blah blah. I was like, ki baby, काम वाली को भी इधर भाव मिलता है. Even maid in India gets a lot of DMs if you are fair and you look decent, right? So
Okay.
I would say, like, if you're a girl in India, you would get that bhav. You would like, men would be after you, chasing you,
Correct.
right? In India, anything that walks and has a will get a cold DM, right? So the reality is that, India, you women will get hit on right, left, center,
Yeah.
right? At least on the cold DMs, right? If you're on a Facebook Messenger, they'll text you. If you're like on Instagram, they'll text you. They'll text you everywhere.
Yeah.
So now it's your duty to find a woman that, like, of course, see, all women, even we men, we would enjoy getting attention.
Yeah.
Like, I know, a lot of women are in your, like, they DM you like, hi Karan, you look sexy and stuff
No,
like that,
man. Come on.
right? So
I wish.
I mean,
I
of
wish.
course, you enjoy that, right? You also enjoy the fact that, you're getting a lot of attention. So it's just normal human nature, right? But then again, there's another thing that, a woman you're dating, right, and she understands the fact that, I have a man in my life, and it's not it'll be disrespect towards him if I am out there replying to such creepy men, right? So it's very important to find a woman who doesn't reply to these people. It's very important to find a woman who, if she has you, she thinks she has the world, and she respects you for the fact that she doesn't want attention from any other man except you, right? So it's your duty to find such a woman. That's why I tell everyone that learn confidence, start socializing so that you have options. Because I'll tell you, bro, out of 100% of the women, let's say in metropolitan cities in India, let's say, right? Or let's say in Philippines or in Thailand, there's just like 10% of the women who are like that, who will, for their man, not enjoy that validation, and they will not reply to people.
I see your point. So that's
Yeah.
why it's so important to have optionality,
Yeah.
because you need to find such a woman to pair with, to have a relationship with, to get married. So that's the reason why you have to go through that hardship to find a woman like that, because there's vices these days,
Yeah, man.
social media.
Of course. Of
So
course.
it's
If like
made,
a if like a super hot woman, like, would have texted me like 6 years back or like 10 years back, and even if I had a wife, I would be like, she's hot, I would reply to her. But now, like, if I'm married and a super hot woman texts me, I'm like, I have my woman. I don't want anyone else, right?
right.
I have all I want in my life and I'm done. Like, I don't want any other woman. I'm just happy with who the I am, you know?
Got it.
But for that, I
Hmm.
had to slog through years that, I don't get, I stay away from this temptation, right? Because I've had it all, I've seen it all. All I need now is just the mother of my children, right?
Well said. Well said. So yeah, this so you do agree that social media has made the dating process 100 times harder because of this reason.
That's true.
You got to search,
100,
find.
100 times harder for normal men, for average men, and 100 times easier for boys.
That's sad but true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or actually, there's no need to call it sad. This is a reality, and
Yeah.
we as men have to just face reality and deal with it. We don't label it with good or bad. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So I want to just go into a little bit about the laws in India. As you know,
Yeah. Laws of.
there's a lot of exploitation of laws that are very women centric and anti man. And a lot of guys are just scared about even getting married because of that. Because once you do that, all the cards are in her hand, and she can just, if she has not a good value system, she may be tempted to use the laws against her man to harass, to create problems, and to create disharmony.
Yeah.
And there's no way for the guy to cleanly or to quickly get rid of such a thing and move on with his life.
Yeah.
How does one deal with this? If you're in India
Yeah.
and you have these laws that are not cool, how do you deal with it?
Well, you got to be smart about it, right? First of all, and also, you need to know about the laws. You need to educate yourself that what laws are there in terms of marriage. In terms of for relationships. What are the laws that can right? You need to be first of all aware of them, right? Like study them. It takes you like a day to like study, like not. I'm not telling you to go in depth, right? I'm not telling you to become a lawyer, right?
Mhm.
But like you should know about them, right?
Hmm.
So that is one thing. Secondly, I'll again say, I'll again tell you, as a man, it's your job to be with the right kind of partner, with the right woman, right? Because if you then she will real bad, you know. So and you need to be very open about what you want, right? Like I see a lot of men, giving false promises to women, which is wrong, right? You need to be honest about what you want in life, and you need to tell her that, right? And secondly, you need to filter out women who you feel could be after your money, or you need to filter out women who you feel they're very revengeful, because like laws in India are so like, let's say if you're in a relationship and it doesn't go well, right, and you want to move in your life, the woman has all the power to real bad, right? So it's really important, like when you're meeting a girl, you need to filter her out. You need to see how revengeful she is. You need to see that what her values are, right? Because not all women are after money, but a lot of them are, right? So these are the few things you need to do in relationship. But like when you're married, you're done, man. If she has like value system, then my friend, you are for life. So that's why I say it is the most important decision. Like there's a saying, we used to say that marriage is a gamble. It's the biggest gamble of your life, right? So like if you want to have some more chances in that gamble, you make sure that you spend a lot of time with that girl. You get to know her value system. You see her spending habits, right? You see whether she'll be right for your children or not.
I'm going to just make a comment about that. Even that
Yeah.
can change because people change.
Of course they change.
So all you can do is just take the best information you have and make a decision.
Of course, man. And of course, see, life has its own turns and twists, Your woman is gonna change, and you never know, like 5 years down the line what's gonna happen, right? But you still take that plunge, you have that faith, you do your best, in choosing the right woman you want, right? And after that, like there are certain ways in marriage that you can make sure that you are less, right? You can make sure that she doesn't do as much damages as possible, right? But here again, I'm not saying be negative about marriage, like you be positive about your marriage. You when you're getting married, you think about it as like, she's gonna be for my life, she's gonna be the mother of my children, and I'm gonna love her for a life. But you still take some precautions, right? Like I know prenup is not valid in India, but you can still take some precautions, right? Like you can see
Yeah,
videos of
got it.
like a very good advocate that I know
Yeah, who?
is you guys can like check out this YouTuber. I saw Amish Agarwala.
Yeah,
He makes insane videos. That guy for men. He's doing charity out there. Like shout out to him,
I
man.
love
Like
Amish.
yeah, shout out to Amish.
Cheers.
He's doing a great work. So you can like watch his videos. You get to learn so much on like certain things you got to keep in mind before you're getting married in India, right? And you need to save your cards, like you need to save your asses the best you can, and then have faith in marriage and go ahead.
Love
Marry your
that.
beautiful Indian wife.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
So I just want to go into now the fact that you have been able to create some amazing friendships in life.
Yeah.
How do you nurture these? How do you make friends when you're old?
Mm-hmm.
You're in your 30s, you left your school, you left your college. How do you actually make them and nurture them? You've been amazing at maintaining them for many, many, many years. You got friends
Mm.
that you would give your left arm for if they ask for it.
Yeah.
How do you do that? What are some tips to get there?
See, like I tell everyone, it's good to socialize with 100 people, but you just got to get like 4, 5, 6 buddies, who are like real tight with you, right? Like who you can just call, when you have like any problem, you're sad, you're happy, you gotta like share your emotion. You should have like few buddies, right? They could be men or women or like whatever. They like it's genderless, right? Like friendships are genderless. But like the number one thing that I feel I did the right way to like make friends was I always, because it's a habit of mine, because I'm just a man like that. I like to give value. Like whenever I meet someone new, the only thing in my mind is how can I give him value, right? I don't want anything in return. Like let's say like I met you, right? We met at a party, right? In my mind is even if like when I connect with you from there on, like any which way I can give you value, like connecting you to people, or like making you a deal which I have some friends with, or like anything that can help you, right? Like let's say you need some help with some hospital, I know people there. So like even if we don't know each other that much, I would provide you that help, that value. So I feel once you're providing value to someone, they would really appreciate that. And I feel when you provide value without wanting anything in return, without like selflessness, you just give and give and give, right? When you just keep on giving, and you see the universe is watching you, the universe is watching that in this world you are out there giving it to people whatever you can, right? Like it could be an advice, it could be maybe money, it could be a network, it could be food, it could be house. Whatever you have and you want to provide, and you just provide value. And you see, you would make friends automatically, because people see that the other person's heart is clear and he is ready to give me value, so they send you value back.
Well said.
And all the relationships in this world, be it like a father or son, like a mother son, or like brothers or like sisters or like friends, or like husband wife, all just operate on values. They all give each other value. That's why they stay close to each other.
Well said. Well said. And what about nurturing? Okay, you made a friend. You
Yeah.
guys, you offered your value. You guys bonded. You have shared values.
Yeah.
How do you nurture it over many years, decade?
Well, you gotta be honest, and you gotta keep on giving value, right? Without again expecting anything in return. That's how you nurture it. That's how you, and I'll also tell you one thing, when you have like shared goals, when you have like shared opinions, that is where you bond more with your
Mm,
friends. I mean, I'm not saying you should not have friends who have different opinions, of course, but you will not be very, very, very close to them. You'll always be close to people who have the same opinion, or let's say, you know, a good percentage of the same opinion on things. You will bond with them more. You have to spend time with them. You have to go out with them. You have to just be around them. And like if you can't be there physically, you should be there. Like maybe on text. And they should
mm.
always know the fact that any thing in this world happens. They should know at the back of your mind that Harsimar Singh Harry is there for them. Like let's say, they run into an accident. If you're far, you should text them, bro, I hope you're fine. If you need anything, just text me. When they know this, they know that they have a friend for life, right? So the only thing to nurture relationships, the only thing to nurture friendship is to tell them that, hey man, I'm there for you.
Verbalize it.
Yeah.
Verbalize it. Text it.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said. I want to now go into you're a guy who literally goes out of his way to help his family, whatever
Mm.
they need, distant relatives. It doesn't matter how distant they are. You're being a guy who just goes above and beyond to help family.
Yeah.
What is our duty as men towards our family, according to you?
Well, I feel, as men, we were born to be leaders. We were born to lead. We were born to show the path, right? And like to show the path, you have to make sure that you are always there for people who are surrounded by you. You're always there for your family. You're always there for your friends. You're always there for your wife. You're always there for your girlfriend. And like you can't just say it. You gotta be there, right? You gotta be there in terms of they need your personal help. They need your emotional availability. They need your money, whatever they need, right? As men, you gotta provide, right? When you so as a man, when you want that people should look up to you, like they should let you lead. So at the same time, you gotta be there in the problem. You gotta be the man who is the problem solver. You gotta be, when there's a war, you'll be the first guy to get a bullet, right? You're like, babe, you come beside. I am here. I'll take the bullet up my chest, right? So when you act like that, when you feel that way, right? So you always want to be there for people who you love, right? People who believe in you. You want to be there for them. That is how you are a leader, right?
Now, how do you reconcile that with a more capitalist way of thinking?
Mm-hmm.
I can only help people if I'm help myself.
Yeah.
I'm not in a financially good position, or if I'm
Mm-hmm.
not strong or not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Can I go? How can I just sacrifice myself to help my family? How do you do that?
Of course, like when you don't have arms, you can't give an arm, right? So like if you don't make money, how can you help your family who needs money, right?
Yeah.
So as a man, then it's your duty. If your family needs money, you go out there and make it, right? You make it and then you give them, right? So again, I said, you men have to be problem solvers. They have to be out there in the field working their asses off, right? So like anything that people around you need, you gotta be the one to provide that. Because once you behave like a provider, and you will be treated like a leader, right? You gotta be there. Like I'm not saying that go out, help everyone in the world who are mean to you, but at least people who believe in you, people who love you, you gotta be there for them, man. Like you can't just like choose your wars. You gotta be there. You gotta be there for the ones that love you, and then you see, you will be treated like a man in the house, right?
Well said. I want to now go into a little different topic over here. Geomaxing and travel. People do a lot of travel these days for tourism reasons and just because they want to get photographed at places for status to showcase that.
Mm-hmm.
Why should someone travel? And specifically, let's talk about men and Indian men. Why should they travel? What the goal should be? And I want you to give me an anecdote from your travels
Mm-hmm.
where you really found it useful and you learned something.
Well, of course, the number one thing that I like, when I travel is that I get to eat different food, because that's me, I'm a foodie. So, like, I love to, like, try different cuisines. But, like, like I said, like when you travel, you get to different cultures, you meet different kind of people, you explore different cultures, when you socialize with, different people from different countries, and it actually opens your view about the world. It opens, like, when let's say when you're in India, you're not traveling, you're caught with certain barriers, in your mind. But when you travel, you meet different type of travelers, you spend time with them, You get to know, how's culture in their country, what things they are doing, how they are making money, right? So, it opens your mind up to new opportunities in this world, right? In terms of money, in terms of dating, right? If you don't travel, like let's say, you don't go to Bali, you don't meet those white. How do you know that there are such beautiful women in this world? Right? Like you need to go out there, right? How do you know, like, you can stay on a island for less than $1,000 a month and enjoy your life and be surrounded by beautiful women, right? So you gotta travel, right? You gotta travel to explore that.
Now, there's guys who are living in different parts of the world, and they're like, you know what? If I can't cut it here in my own dating,
Yeah.
then why should I go to some other place better or easier or whether better woman? Why
Mm-hmm.
should I? This is my hometown. If
Mm-hmm.
it's my duty, or it's my, I have to win this quest of winning in my home, and then I'll go. Then or I won't. You know, how do you reconcile that
Well,
with these guys?
like I always say, like you should eat the food you like, but you should explore everything. So it's the same, like if you like dating in your own country, your own city, your own village, okay, do that. But like go ahead, like visit the world, see what's up, maybe you would like something else, right? So go out there, go to like, a bunch of countries, meet people there, see the culture, try their food, you know, like meet women there, and see if it suits you, it's good for you. If not, you come back to your own village and go marry the girl you want to, right? So I just say, it's it's like there's no harm in going around the world and meeting people. It just adds to your experience of life, right? And right now you have the energy, right? You're young, you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s, right? You have that energy to go out, travel, like take flights every fifth day. But when you'll be 60, you'll be with diabetes, man. You can't walk too much, so you can't like explore and have experiences at that age, right? So this is the moment. Cherish it. Yeah.
I want to now talk about this whole arranged marriage thing that exists in India,
Yeah.
using sites that guys use.
Yeah.
What should guys even think about arranged marriages anymore? Like, are arranged marriages so risky that it's not even worth doing anymore,
Yeah.
or are they still an option? And what is your opinion about how Indian men should go about finding their partner back who are living back in India?
Well, I feel, the only way I feel is the correct path to like finding your partner in India is, meeting them in real life.
Cold approaching?
Cold approaching. That's what I would say, like go out there, socialize, maybe, go to like bars, go to like, malls, or maybe like go on streets and, find your partner. I would say that is the best approach. Or like, even you can, like socialize in a wedding, or like socialize in like, let's say, like your workplace or whatever, like, but I think, you should meet your partner in the real life, like, that's the best way, because you never know, right? Like the women you're meeting off shadi.com, or like for girls,
Yeah.
the guys that they are meeting off, like, let's say Bumble, Hinge, shadi.com, whatever, right? You don't know who the they are, right? And you can't like really know someone in like 3 months and get married, right? It's bad for both men and women, right? So they have to spend a certain time, dating each other in that courtship period to get to know each other, and then take a call, right?
Now, dating, if dating should be the new way, and cold approaching should be
Yeah.
the way of meeting a partner, a lot of people are screwed up with the choices.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many options.
Yeah. For women.
Ideally.
Yeah.
I mean, for women, it's too many options.
Yeah.
For guys, it's not taking enough action to create that optionality, maybe,
Mhm.
or maybe creating some,
Mm-hmm.
still having to decide,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe having to settle with something that may not be ideal.
Mm-hmm.
How do you reconcile that? Hey, if I go through the dating process, I have options now.
Yeah.
How do I pick one?
Well, the like I told you, if you're a confident man, like every girl you meet off shadi.com would also want to meet you again, right? Would want to meet you and would be interested in you. But like, also like when she comes and meets you, she's seeing like what's your dressing style like? Are you groomed properly? How confident are you like when you're speaking to her? So all these things are very important for you, even if like you wanna get a girl and meet her through a arranged marriage route, right? So you need these things. Like I was talking to a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
She's 25 years old, right? And she wants to get married. Like she really, really wants to get married. Like the agenda in her life is to get fucking married. And like she's been trying to get married for the past 2 years, and she's been meeting guys right, left, center through her parents. Her parents are finding guys for her, like through their social, like environment, or like let's say shadi.com or some other matrimonial site. And she talks to them on the phone, or she talks to them like, let's say like she meets them in person. The only thing she tells me is that these guys can't even speak to me, and they can't even look into my eye. Like the girl is way more confident and extroverted for these guys. So that's her turn off. She's like, how the can I marry and look up to someone, who can't even speak to me on the first date? Right? So that's the problem with Indian men these days, right? They need to gain that confidence, right? Even if you want to get married through the arranged marriage setup, guys, start working on yourself, because it's high time. Because then you're losing on a lot of women who are rejecting you even for arranged marriage.
Correct. So what I want to say is this. Okay, I mean, the odds are stacked against the men
Yeah.
in this process,
Yeah.
the arranged marriage process.
Mm-hmm.
So, in a nutshell, I think most men should just not do it. All right,
Not do arranged marriage.
just don't do it.
Well, I would put it this way. If you really want to get married, like first of all, give yourself time. Give yourself like a year or two to like work on yourself, get to know yourself. What kind of a person are you? Start making decent amount of money, because of course, marriage is expensive in India, man. And of course, like even after that, you need money to survive as a couple, right? Because even as a man, I would not look at how much my wife is making, right? So you need to make decent amount of money, and then again, you need to start working on yourself. Gain that confidence, and then just start exploring. All the options that you have. Meet women everywhere you go. Explore dating websites. Explore like even shadi.com for that matter. Like, see, if you meet a girl through shadi.com and she fits in the kind of women you wanna like spend your life with, like what's wrong in that? But of course, she would also be attracted to you when she meets you off that shadi.com or matrimonial site, if you have that confidence in you, right?
Mm,
Because I know a lot of men who have met like their life partners through shadi.com while they were on a path of like improving their dating,
got it.
right? So
But that was the key.
yeah, so like it like this dating thing, like working on yourself, meeting people and blah blah blah, it kind of helped them get their partner. So like
Well said.
yeah, so I mean, I feel any which way you want to get married, like as a man, start working on yourself.
Go through the process,
Yeah.
explore all your options, and yes, there are problems with these routes. Social media and all these have caused issues in our minds. But despite that, if you're in the process, your chances are better.
And there are exceptions, there are beautiful and amazing women down in these websites as well. But it's like finding a lotus in the lake, you gotta find it.
Needle in the haystack.
Yeah.
Crazy, crazy. So I want you to give me like, there's some people I know who are like, um, who want to geomax, go to a place where dating is better, dating is
Yeah.
more, uh, organic, it's better,
Mm-hmm.
less social media, like craziness. So do you think that's also something that Indian men should consider? If you have an option, should they geomax and try to travel somewhere else and try to find someone cool?
Well, it's already happening. We see so many couples on Instagram, with like wives from Russia, or let's say Thailand, or let's say Philippines. It's already happening, right? Like Indian men are marrying like women from outside, which I feel is a good thing, right? Like if you can adapt to their culture, they can adapt to your culture. Like why not, right? Like you don't need to be, because of course, like I said, the like 10%, 20% of the women, I would say, that that men should get married to in India, right? So, you can come out there to other countries and try to find your girl, right? If you're attracted to, let's say, a girl from Philippines, you like girls who are like, who look like girls who are in Philippines, you like such girls, then why not? You should come here, give it your shot. Like maybe you would find your partner here. Maybe, you fall in love and you get married. Like what's wrong in that? But then again, there is a barrier, with us in our lives, that we should only get married to women in India. But I would tell you that there are very feminine women in Southeast Asia that are amazing. Like they're amazing. So like, if you're out there, you're fine with a partner from a foreign land, I would say Southeast Asia is the thing for you.
Okay, I want to talk about something a little different now. Okay, pair bonding.
Yeah.
You go through the dating process and you have had more than one partner.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like you lose the ability to just bond with one person because of that crazy amount of choice that these parties have these days.
Of course you do, man. Of course, choices. They make you in the head. Like let's say, like let's talk about the controversial topic that like people with a lot of lay counts. They're it's actually true. Like it's actually true for both men and women. Even like let's say for us, for people who've been with, like say for men who've been with a lot of women, it's hard to connect. It's hard to be like, okay, I'll commit to one and then fall in love with one and I'll just stay with one. It is so hard. You gotta like mentor yourself and tell yourself, it's okay, but you need to find love and you need to be with one person, right? And
What's the
similarly for
solution?
women.
What's the solution for both? How do you get good at pair bonding despite this choice filled process?
Well, you gotta tell your mind that it's enough. You just need one person to love. You gotta stop. Maybe let's say replying to texts from unknown people. It's both. It's same for men and women, right? You need to stay loyal. Of course, there'll be times when you would feel attracted to another woman, or like a woman would feel attracted to another man. You know that is normal. That is fine. That keeps on happening. We are humans, right? But then we need to stop ourselves. We need to be disciplined in the fact that, oh, we have a partner, so we need to be loyal, and you just have to stop yourself, because loyalty is in the ball of loyalty is in your court, right? So you decide whether you want to be loyal or not.
That's well said.
Yeah, and like, even if you do not get caught, you should know that the universe is watching. The universe knows that you man, right? So if you want a happy family, you want to raise kids with loving parents, you need to be loyal, right? You need to tell yourself, I will not another woman, and I'll just love my life for the rest of my life, right?
Very hard thing to do, but
Yeah, but
well
that's
said.
the right thing to do,
Well
right?
said.
Yeah.
So it's basically just force yourself.
Of course, you don't
And
force yourself, man. If I see a hot Brazilian chick, my would go crazy. But then I have to tell my, hey, man, you have a wife, and she is the mother of your children, and you're married, right? You got to tell yourself that. You got to stay loyal. So, like, if you can't be loyal yourself, how do you expect your woman to be loyal to you, right? You got to, because as a man, you got to take the right decisions in life. You got to choose the right path. So, you got to stay loyal. Expect your wife to stay loyal. If she isn't loyal, show her the door.
cool.
Yeah.
That's well said. So really enjoyed talking to you, Harry. I want to now end this with parting thoughts. I want to leave men in general,
Uh huh.
and then maybe even Indian men,
Mm-hmm.
with some pearls of wisdom from your side in when it comes to topics that we spoke about, and anything that you would like to tell people.
Well, I just like one thought that's coming to my mind is about marriage, because it's very important to choose the right partner. Like, never get married in scarcity. Always get married when you have choices, because when you get married in scarcity, that marriage is not going to last for long, because your true nature is going to come out very soon. So it's very important that you like come out of that scarcity mindset, work on yourself, build that abundance in your dating life, or in your sex life or whatever, right? And then decide to get married. Take time, spend time with that woman who you want to get married to, and cover up your bases, cover up your asses before you get married. Don't take such emotional decisions that you're going to regret the rest of your life. And make sure, when you're choosing your wife, don't choose a girlfriend. Choose the mother of your children. You need to see the right values, that if she is the mother of your children, would she be the right woman? Don't go for looks, man. Go for the values.
That's it. So, Harry, how can people reach you, and what are you up to these days? And in case someone wants to get mentored or get wants
Yeah.
some advice, what's the best way to reach you?
Well, we can put over the Instagram account, that's specifically just for like, dating, and just for like people to reach out to me, right? So we can put on that Instagram account and, like people can reach out to me there. Yeah.
So, what should people reach out to you for specifically? What is something you can help people with? I know we spoke about a lot of
Yeah.
topics.
Yeah.
What do you
Well,
think?
specifically, like I specifically I help my students, to gain confidence, to learn how to speak with women, to learn how to socialize, to learn how to travel to different countries and meet people, and like travel while meeting women, like get your dating life sorted. Have a lot of memories, have a lot of experiences, and make sure you meet the love of your life. If you want to meet the love of your life, I am the one who can help you with that.
So, there you go, guys. Please reach out to Harry if you want help with your dating life. And he's someone who has really changed lives of many, many people, including his friends and his students. I highly recommend you reach out to him. Thank you so much, Harry.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me here.